Hi everyone, it's Wendy again. Did this once already and I wasn't happy with the videos. Excuse me, so I'm redoing it. I talk about a couple things that have come up for us in-store shoppers. So yes, this is an Instacart video, and I'll show you what this is in a minute. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go in the app, and one thing that shows up when you're shopping is a sanitation task. Do it. It doesn't take as long as they put it in there unless you have a huge shelving unit and refrigerators and freezer and label area. But go ahead and do it. The racks that we have, they may be the same as yours, are the ones that I'm familiar with from working in restaurants and that. We mainly use them in the dry storage, and we also use them in our freezer and refrigerator area. And they're metal, they're wire, um, I call them wire, but they have an open um, framework so that air can circulate in that, and they can be very hard to wipe. So basically, what I do when I'm doing it, let's say this is my paper towel, um, and I usually use 2 sheets, and I fold it in half, and then in half again, so I have a quarter one. So it's fairly thick. I spray it, and then I just lightly wipe over the top of the wire, wipe along the side. I even wipe the little label. If you have them, it says Instacart 1, 2, and 3. Uh, and, you just wipe them down. Now, you're going to get this sanitation task up to 3 times in a shift. When I do it, the first one, I try and do a very good job on it because that's the beginning of the shift. Everything should be cleared out. There should be no orders left, hopefully. If there are, let your shift lead or store lead know um, so that they can handle them. They'll probably take a picture of it with the labels and send it to them and say, hey, this was left in the freezer, just let you know. And I know at ours, they pick them up and they donate them to one of the local shelters or food pantries. But basically, you should have no orders on the shelves. The hot bag, if you have one, we have one. It's a green bag, like what the full service shoppers use. I wipe it out on that first one very well. I wipe it out on the inside. Again, I spray this and wipe it out. You can just spray the cleaner in there and just wipe it. And then I make sure the zippers come up, but I do not zip them this way so that air can get in there so it can air dry. Best thing for dishes is to air dry. Best thing for this bag is to air dry because it's going to get any odors and that out of there. I also wipe the zipper, especially the pull tabs, and I don't know if it helps or anything, but I do wipe the outside just around real quick where people tend to touch it. Let's put it that way. Now, when you come to the refrigerator and the freezer, I do the front of the door in the handle. I also take and do the side of the door. It's easy to do the freezer one because there's usually nothing blocking it. And I can give you an example. If this is my door, that side here, I wipe that down with my paper towel with some of the sanitizing, whatever you have. Usually it's multi-surface cleaner. I just wipe it down. I usually, because I've sprayed the front of my door, I wipe that down. Then I take and I spray more on this is a clean batch of paper towels now. I usually use six to eight full-size sheets. So I spray more on here and I wipe it down the side, sometimes and also along the bottom and on the top if you can reach it. They are going to take in, they do have cleaner for the bottom of your freezer and refrigerator. You also need to do it, use, again, that's where more paper towel usage comes in. Make sure you do that. On the refrigerator doors, you're going to have to open them up, and usually what I do is I take the paper towel pad, pull one open, and kind of hold it, and kind of put my elbow in there. Spray more on my paper towels, wipe down the sides, and out along the bottom. All right. Then you get to your, they call it a POS station. I call it the label station because POS is point of sales, and really we're not selling anything. We're just printing out labels. So I call it a label station. Wipe down the scanner gun. I usually pick it up. Another set of these. Spray the towels, not the electronic equipment. Do not spray the gun or the label thing. I wipe down the cord that's attached to it. I wipe down the little holder thing. I wipe down the inside and the outside of the holder thing. And the last thing I wipe down usually is the scanner gun itself, and I try and use the paper towels to put it back in. Doesn't always work, but it is what it is. You wipe down this label printer. Like I said, do not spray the cleaning on it. Spray it on the paper towels and wipe it down. Wipe the top, the sides, especially the little buttons which we all press in order to put in new labels, the front of it. Just be careful not to get any of the paper towels caught in where the labels come out. Then I take, and usually I do one more really good spritz on my paper towel pad here, and I put my paper towels away, my sanitizing spray away into the little cupboard. Then I wipe down the handles of the little area and the doors. And the very last thing I do is, we've got this rubber mat on it, and it says Husky, I think. And I've, wiped down the back. There's a backing on it. It's like a pegboard. I've wiped that down at least once during my shift, the little cubby holes. But I also have wiped down that rubber mat that says Husky on it. It's come cleaner. When I first did it, I was like, ooh. But as I've done it, it's come cleaner. So, and then I gather all my paper towels and throw them away. And then I go and sit down and do the report. Now, when that report shows up on your phone here, what I usually do is I press it right away and just let it open up and sit there while I'm doing all the cleaning, because you are supposed to do it after the cleaning, after you're done with the sanitizing, rather. Then I take and I fill out the report. It needs your email, it needs your district, your area, what store you're at. So long as you input the district and the area, it brings up all the stores, and it can be sometimes hard to read, especially when you have a whole bunch of the same type of store in the area. We have a lot of price shoppers, so it's a big long list. You find it and you need to make sure you tap that one. It'll ask who did it, if you did it or if a coworker did it. It'll ask, like, did you wash your hands for 20 seconds? And on our label area, they actually have hand washing, and it's done to the tune of Kansas City. I do it 3 times through the alphabet in German. It's about the same. But you're supposed to do it for 20 seconds. Then it asked you about what you sanitize, and you mark yes, 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 which is the shelvings, the refrigerator, the freezer. That's where your POS comes in. Hot box. If you have an actual hot box, you need to sanitize that. We don't have an actual hot box. We have a hot bag. Same thing. Then it will ask you if you have enough supplies. It's always for a week. So, like Friday, um, I'll look at our supplies and say, okay, we have enough paper towels for the next week. Um, you can kind of gauge. Most of the time, it'll be about 2 weeks before you need to refill on your sanitizing, your multi-surface sanitizer, your bleach water, um, paper towels. It depends upon how frugal or how uh, exorbitant you are in using them. Um, how long they last. So you need, and just go ahead and put in the answers. Um, it will ask you the time. Now, if you're unsure of what time this started, because sometimes we're not paying any attention to the time as we're, waiting for next batch coming, it will tell you. Because on my phone, I can do this, and I usually have my Slack window, and I will have the sanitizing report here. But I will also have my dashboard here. So on the dashboard, it will actually tell you what time this started. So you need to input that. The only thing I don't like is they don't do it in military time. But that's just me. That's because I have my phone in military time. Okay. So you fill that out. It'll ask you for any suggestions, and you keep hitting next. I think they could just do it on one big long screen where you scroll up. But anyway, that's my opinion. Anyways, finally it says submit. Now, on that final page, you have the option to have a copy of the report sent to you if you want. So you can slide that button open so that you get copies of the reports you sent. You hit submit and you're done. Now, if it only takes you 10 minutes, you got to wait 5 minutes because they're not going to give you another batch until that time has elapsed. If it takes you 5 minutes, you got to wait 10 minutes. So just be aware that there may be some time there where you're not getting a batch because of the amount of time they set for this, which is 15 minutes. And I think that's because in some of the larger stores, the area is bigger. I'm in a small store, what I consider a small store. Might be a small to medium store, and it doesn't take that long. I mean, we have one set of coolers, one freezer, one set of racks, and then the POS. I mean, it's maybe 10 feet along the wall. All right, now there's something else I'm going to talk about on the phone, but I'm going to show you. As you know, one big thing they want us to do is wear masks and also to sanitize. Now, Instacart is offering to send you free mask and hand sanitizer. Now, my lead was very nice and bought us this. It's called Duffy's Defense. It's 63% ethanol hand sanitizer, shake well. And this was actually made by a distilling company. So it's made at a place that makes alcohol. I looked up the difference between ethanol and ethyl alcohol. I think one of them has ethyl in it. Yeah. And the difference, it didn't make a lot of sense. One is now ethanol, as you know, is usually made from corn. You can find it in your gasoline. They also use it in liquor. So that's what the difference is. Whereas ethyl alcohol is more like this, isopropyl rubbing alcohol. But you could drink this, but I wouldn't recommend it. If you've ever, oh, there's a movie. Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It was done years ago, and I know one of the actresses in it was Shelley Winters. I think it was Shelley Winters. About this space probe that came back and it wiped out this whole town. The only two people left was a tiny baby and a guy who was drinking rocket. So don't drink it. You can also make alcohol from potatoes, but okay. So we got this. Now, the first round of hand sanitizer they sent us was this one. And this one was 75% alcohol. This one is 63. And I think so long as it's above 60%, you're good to go. So yes, this was the first one they sent us. Now this is the second one. And actually, I accidentally ordered a second one. The little mask that I've received with this one and with this one. This is what comes in the pack, I think. Unless it's something different. That's why I decided to wait until now to open this. Okay. Anyways, this is what comes in. Oh, it's a different one. Cool. Seems like they keep giving you different ones each time. That's kind of cool. Okay, there's nothing in it. Alright, so what you get... Oh, this is a nice mask. This is so much better than the other ones. Ooh, something leaked. Well, that's alright. It can be washed. Look at that. That's a nice mask. I like this one. I'm going to try it out tomorrow. I sew, so I'm making my own face mask. But I have breathing issues, and let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if it's one of those ones you get at the hospital. My husband wears those, or anything, but I can't breathe in them. So when there's no one around, I'm pulling them down so my nose peeks out. I'm going to try this one out tomorrow. I'm going to do a little wash on it first, though. Oh, that's nice material. That's like a heavyweight. It's almost like a fleece. This is thank you. Okay. But this is a different one. Now, the last one, like I said, this was the first one they sent. This was the second one. And the thing is, I prefer the gel, and this is a spray, and it's okay. I actually have someone I'm going to give this. I might give this one too. And this one is a gel too. Let's see what this one is. Oh, this has 75% alcohol. Okay. For external use only. Keep out of eyes, ears, and mouth. Keep out of the reach of children. If swallowed, get medical help or contact poison control. Okay. Other information. Store between 59 and 86 degrees. Avoid freezing and excessive heat. Inactive ingredients. Water or aqua. Glycerin. Propylene glycol. Carboner. Aminoethanol. What? Aminomethyl propanol. And fragrance. Okay. Hey, that's neat. That's 3.4. So, I mean, this one was 2. This one's 3.4. And this one was 6. So, I mean, they're very... you don't know which one you're going to get. Let's put it that way. Now, I was lucky I found some Perel today. Hand sanitizer, the little ones. I like to keep those in my purse. I like that mask. Okay. Where we live, we have what they call CBD, American Shaman. So This is alcohol antiseptic, 80%, non-sterile solution. And this is 4 fluid ounces, and it's like $5, I think. I don't remember. Um, this has 80%, 82, 82% alcohol. Anyways, this is okay. The only thing is it feels greasy until you rub it in. And it seems to take quite a while to rub in. It's not quick like some of the other ones. So I don't know if this is formula, just how it's made, or whatever. So, okay. So we got that. Well, I'm still stoked about this. I like that. You can tell that was made on a industrial sewing machine. How do I know that? I used to work at a toy factory. I made toys, stuffed toys. Okay, the next thing. Um, if you've been freaking out about your time, don't, please. I'm going to tell you why. Because you have to make more substitutions. A lot of the things are replacements. Some of the replacements that you make may not be in the catalog that the shopper shops from. Therefore, it's not in the app. So you have to enter information, and that takes time. Okay. So what I did was I'm on my dashboard, clicked how am I doing. You're going to get your feedback. You're going to get lessons. You can view the comments. Awesome, thank you. Awesome, thank you. Thanks a lot. These are all my comments so far. Last one was May 23rd. Thanks a lot. So you get comments. I look at them and see what's going on. All right. Don't worry about attendance points unless you're down to 1. So let's look at seconds per item. Okay. Your time's going to vary, and it's going to depend upon the items ordered by the customer, also the stock that's in the store. I will tell you, a lot of the grocery stores seem to be better stocked than some of the bigger box stores. Walmart, Target, those ones. It gives you a speed tip if you can't find an item quickly. Politely ask a store employee, and that's always good. That's why I keep saying, be nice to your store employees. They can help you so much. It's kind of nice when you go walking around and they come up and go, "Hi, how you doing? You need any help? Not right now. I'll let you know." Okay, but if you got your shopping and your checkout, click on all speed data. You're actually going to see each batch that you did for a few days, okay? There's one in here I want to talk about because of there it is. All right, on Friday, I got a batch that had 30 cases of water on it. Excuse me. Not just 12 bottles and not just the little half bottles, the regular water bottles. And there's 27, 30, 32, whatever. And I'm like, okay. So I'm thinking, I'm going, okay. So when I started this, I reached out to my lead and said, hey, I've got an order with 30 cases of water. What do I get it all? What do I do? While I was waiting for the answer back, I went and kind of got everything else. There's only like 4 other items. And I went and talked to store management. This is why you're nice to the store. And I asked them about it. I said, okay, I've got an order for 30 cases of water. Is that doable? Do you have a policy in place limiting the amount? They go, no, we've got it. It's in the back. We'll have to bring it up on a rolly cart. I said, okay. So they went and had someone go and get the 29 cases because I had to have one in the cart. And they just said, might not want to do this again. I said, okay. I'll tell you what, you guys take it up with Instacart. I And here's the big thing. I took and tried to contact Shopper Help, and I don't know what was going on that day, but I would get to the screen and I would see nothing. There was no chat. It would tell me who I was supposedly chatting with, and I had nothing. And apparently I wasn't the only one. So anyways, um, so they get that all up there. I get it through checkout. Wasn't as bad as I thought, and I could see why she did it because that store had those cases of water for $2.50 a case. Oh, and I got a visitor. You've already had treats. You can sit there. Yes, I could. Yes, you're going to say hi to everybody. This is my cat Mittens. And for those of you who don't know, Mittens is what they call a polydactyl. And I'll see if she'll let me show her paw. This is why she's called Mittens. She has 5 toes and 2 thumbs on her front paws, and she has 5 toes on her back, or 4 toes. You got 4 or 5 back there. I don't remember. Can I see your back paw? 5. Okay. She's also, she's called a polydactyl cat or a Hemingway cat. You can look them up. Ernest Hemingway actually has a colony of them at his Florida estate. And he was given one by a captain of a boat. And they're considered crews on ships consider them lucky and excellent mousers. And they may be related to the Norwegian wildcat. I think it's Norwegian wildcat. But anyways, this is, and she's a rescue. And every time I get on camera, she decides she wants to come up and play. I'll get you treats later. Yes, goodbye. Now she tried coming up another way. She just gave me that look. And don't you dare. She made herself throw up on my cover of my headphones. I had to go wash them real good. Okay. Anyways, back to the story. So we get all these cases up there, get everything situated, and like I said, I questioned her too. I texted her several times. I said, "Are you sure you want 30 cases and not 3?" She said, "Yes, 30." I said, "Okay." Then there was a big hubbub about getting them delivered because it was a delivery, and an issue with the delivery person, and it got taken. Needless to say, the next day when I went in there, because that was my last order of the day, the cases were all gone. She came and picked them up, the rest of them. The delivery driver took 18, and she had to come and pick up 12. But anyway, so, I mean, my picking speed was 305 minutes, or seconds. That's about 5 minutes. That's because I was talking to Shopper Help, I was talking to my store leads, and I was talking to management. Am I worried about the time? No. Why not? Because they could see I was making sure that I was verifying. They can even see in the chat with the customer that I was verifying. Okay. So don't get too hung up on the time. I mean, I've got some times here that I'm surprised I even did, like 76 seconds. And a lot of times when I look at these, I can say, oh yeah, I remember, like this one, 112. Oh yeah, I had to make some replacements, and she decided she wanted something else, rather than the brand I got. She wanted a different brand. So just take it with a big grain of salt. And, like 83 seconds checkout speed, that's because there was a darn line. And I don't worry about that at all. It is what it is right now. And your time, do the best you can, but also realize there's going to be days where you're going to have an order where you're going to have to replace half the stuff, and half of that you're trying to replace it with is not in their catalog, so you have to enter it, so that goes on your time. And I'm not a fast text typer, okay? I'm working on it, but so just realize that. I mean, like, I worked Tuesday 1, 2, 3, 4, I had 5 orders. Sunday I had 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that was, I was scheduled for 6 hours, considering I worked 5.5 and you take off another half hour because I did 2 sanitations for 15 minutes. That's 1 in every half hour. So, you know, you're going to have days like that. And like that Friday one, I only had 3 orders. Actually, it was kind of a nice day. You know, it was kind of a normal day because normally we get 1 order per, we average about 1 order per hour. Okay, so there's that. So we talked about the sanitation, communication with your customer is really, really important. I've had several comments about how they appreciate me talking to them, sending them the pictures. I've lined up spaghetti sauce because I was saying, this is all they have for spaghetti sauce in the brand you want. So here it is. You know, and here are the flavors. Beans, baked beans. One woman wanted baked beans. She wanted Bush's baked beans. She wanted the smaller tins. They didn't have them. They only had the larger ones. Well, I did find smaller ones for vegetarian, but she didn't want those. So, and I had lined up all the beans. She didn't want the generic brand. So I said, okay, the only 2 left are the 2 bigger cans of Bush's baked beans. I said, do you want the country style or do you want the hickory hickory bacon? Whatever. She didn't answer. I gave her the country style. She was happy. But she thanked me for communicating with her. So yeah, communication is important. You know, if you're having an issue with a customer, if you're having an issue with a full service shopper, if you're having an issue with the store, that's what your leads are there for. If you're having an issue with the app, you know, let your leads know because they may be able to do some things and, you know, get the issue settled so that, or the issue fixed so that you don't have to, you can get on to the next thing. Okay. Sorry, my spring on my thing was out of whack. Pictures, communicate with them. Don't take customer frustration personally. If they're frustrated because, oh, this store always carries this brand, I want this brand, that's the only brand my kid will eat, blah, blah, blah. Don't take it personally. Say, that's why when I send out my initial greeting, settings, communication, custom greetings, I tell them my name, I'm your shopper today, I'm starting your orders. If there's any updates or additions, please feel free to message me and I'll do my best to make it happen. If the store is out of an item you selected, I'll find the best possible replacement and notify you for improvement. The app does that automatically. But another thing I included in there is please note that due to high demand, some items may be out of stock or have limits placed on them. Thank you for your understanding. And I do that so that they understand that when they want 6 packs of steaks, they're not going to get them. They're going to get whatever the limit is for beef steaks, which at my store currently is 2. You know, and if they wanted 12 of them, well, I'll see if I can find a 4-pack of steaks. They may not be the big ones they want. They might be smaller. Or I could ask the butcher to pack me up a 12-pack of steaks if you have a meat counter. That's one way to do that is if they want a specific number that's above what you can get in the coolers that they already have prepackaged, ask your meat guys if they can say, hey, I need a total of 12 steaks. Can you wrap me up a package of this type of 12 of steaks if you have them back there? They may do it. Doesn't hurt to ask. All they can say is no. Um, Communication. Um, Keep your hand sanitizer. Like I said, you know, this is free and it came inside of a week. So, order them. Nice mask now. I think very nice mask. I'm gonna take a picture of that and post it on Slack saying, "Hey guys, look at the mask you're getting now. You might get." And they have these. Oh, these are just cool. I'm easily amused right now. Um, so yeah. So keep that in mind. Um, Stay safe out there. Do what you need to do. Don't stress out about the customers too much. Do your best. That's all you can do is do your best. If they don't have it, like we were out of black beans, canned black beans for the longest time. Um, I was even going into the Hispanic aisle. We have a large Hispanic population, so they have a very large Hispanic aisle. Getting black beans, and even they were running low and out. That aisle was running low and out. So um, just be aware, okay? And take it easy, stay safe. Um, you know, there may be a spike, and I will tell you, with it getting to be the first of the month again, you may be busy as all get out, and then it'll die down, and then you get busy again. And with so many people seeing how this works, they may say, you know what? When I figure out my time, my gas, my energy, and that it's not worth it going to the store when I can have someone do it for me. And the nice thing is, I don't have to pay them 50 or 50 plus bucks an hour to do it as a personal shopper, because that's basically what you are. Um, but be nice to the store employees, be nice to the management there, be nice to yourself and to your other in-store shoppers. Um, Sometimes it helps to compare notes. And also realize that each store is different. What happens in my store, in my area, may not be happening in yours. Um, I know not every store is very welcoming to in-store shoppers, but you know what? It is what it is. You just have to take it as it comes, and the best way to get them on your side is to kill them with kindness. Just smile, say, okay, thank you. Keep thanking them and be nice and polite, especially in front of other shoppers, regular grocery shoppers, not necessarily Instacart shoppers, because they may come to your defense without you knowing it. Okay, so just be nice and polite, and don't let them ruffle you. It doesn't help. As I tell my husband, be a duck. Let it all slide off your back, because when water repels off a duck's back, well, underneath what you can't see is they're pedaling furiously. So be a duck, and also think about this in the grand scheme of your life right now. Does it really matter that someone else is having a bad day and trying to take it out on you? No, because tomorrow they'll probably be sweet and try and make it up to you somehow. Um, the customer on the app may be grouching that, but think about this. They've probably been in their house for however long. The kids may be driving them nuts. Their spouse may be driving them nuts. They may have parents there. They may have other relatives that have had to stay there with them, and they're ready to chuck them out. So just realize that, okay? And be proud of what you're doing, because it is very important, and you're making a difference. All right. So I'm going to close this out for now. It's long enough. And thank you for listening. And I'll think about another subject. If you want me to talk about what I've learned on a subject, put it down in the um, comments. And as usual, I have a link to my referral code to become an actual Instacart shopper, and also to the app itself, so that if you want to try out Instacart and see what it's like having, ordering online and having your groceries either delivered or for pickup, you can do that as well. And thank you and have a good night.